Everyone. So welcome back to the ES6 feature series. So today we are going to learn about the ES6 classes module with the import or export. By the end of this video, you will be able to write organized and modular code perfect for a real world project. So let's dive into that. So I've created a file, the basic HTML, and we are going to write here. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to start with the ES6 classes basics that allow us to create a blueprint for object in a clean and modern way, right? So let's create that. So it's a class, say a person, and that will be a name, and then say a dog, right? And the age will be, you can say 25, right? And what we're going to do, we'll create a script, yeah. And what we'll do, right? Console log, and we can say here the please subscribe type dot name, right? Tactic and PM dot is right. Yeah, and that's it. So we'll add the semicolon. Now what we're going to do, we're going to access that. So we'll say constant, say constant, that is p1 equals to new person, and say p1 dot. So let's run it and see what we get here. So what we have done here, we have initialized the object and a method that are defined directly in the class body, right? So we have defined the object and a method, greet method inside the class, right? So let's run this and see. So this is the, and we'll inspect this. So we got here, right? So this is the modern way to write the classes and a method and object in inside the class body, right? Now, next thing what we're going to do, we are going to learn about the module, that is basically import and export, right? And module, what it does, it let us split code into separate file and import or export functionality as needed, right? So let me comment this so that can use that, we can write it here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a person.js, and we're going to say export constant, and we can say name, that will be, we've created a variable that is name, and we're going to create a function. So we'll say export function, and we can say console log, and we can say here please subscribe. These two features, these two feature from person.js, we are going to use here, right? So what we're going to do, we are going to import the features. So we'll say import, and say here the name, we are accessing the name, we are accessing the greet here from, and then we'll say dot person js, and what we're going to do, we are going to call the, we'll say console dot log name, call the greet also. So say, right, let's switch to the browser. So let me explain what we have done here. What we have done here, we have created a variable name, and we are created a greet function that we are exporting here. Basically, this feature can be used anywhere by importing all this feature from the person.js, you can write multiple feature inside the person.js and you can import it like this. And we are just printing this. So let's switch to the browser and see what we get here. Okay, so it's a uncaught syntax error, cannot use import statement outside a module, because we have not mentioned the script that will be your type equals to, that will be your module, right? So once we have written this, we'll get the all these things, right? So see how we can access one features from one from the features from the other file into the into the second file, right? Now there are some default export that basically is built by JavaScript itself. So we can say at this. So we'll say import math.js, right? And we'll add semicolon. This will be our export default. Let me just create a file. Let's say add dot. No, we can say math.js, right? And that is my mistake that I mentioned that is created by JavaScript. That is not created basically. So we are going to create here. So we'll say export default function. You can say add, right? And we are going to say here a and what you will do is say return a plus b, right? And this is the default one we are going to use. So we'll say import add from math.js, right? And we have successfully imported this. Some gap here. And what are we going to do? We are going to directly use the console.log. We can say add and we'll pass 3, right? So let's switch to the browser and see what we get it here. We got it here, right? That is the default export. Let us export a single main value from a file. And yeah, and that's how you use ES6 classes and module that basically import and export in a JavaScript. In the next video, we will explore optional chaining and nullish coalescing modern operator to handle undefined value safely, right? So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you into the next one.